All right, what is up guys, welcome back to another video. So as you can tell by the title and thumbnail of this video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to heel flip. Now keep in mind that way back like 8 or 9 years ago, I made a tutorial on how to do it. This tutorial is more of an updated version of what I learned about heel flips, and hopefully this will help you beginner skaters as well that are learning this trick currently. So let's start. So what is a heel flip? The heel flip is basically a kick flip, but you flip it in the opposite direction. With the kick flip, you flip the board more towards you. But with the heel flip, it's the opposite direction. So you flip the board behind you. And also, you're using your heel or this side of your front foot right here to flick the trick for the heel flip. A lot of skaters that I've encountered with have trouble with this basic trick, and they say that they're much better at doing the other heel flip variations. So I figured I'd make a tutorial about it and put into detail on how you can flick it more better and how to keep the board from staying more under you. Because I know for a fact that a lot of skaters that I've encountered with tell me that they can't keep the board under them and they can't flick it fast enough, because when they flick it, it always goes underside like this for them. So yeah, let's get started. First things first, we gotta cover the foot placement. Now, I believe with the heel flip, foot placement is very important when learning this trick. So for the heel flip, you're gonna have your front foot right about here with the ball of your big toe just aligned with the front side of the railing of the board, and it should be just behind the two front bolts right here. With the back foot, you're gonna have it in the same position as an ollie, but there's gonna be a slight change. You're gonna put it in the same position as an ollie, but you're gonna have the ball of your back foot right here this time. So this is what your back foot should look like. This is how your heel flip positioning is pretty much gonna look like. Now when I see other skaters do the heel flip, their foot positioning is so different. So when they do it in the kick flip position almost. So their front foot would be like here in the kick flip position almost, and their back foot would be in like the same ollie position, which I really don't intend to do, because of course I didn't grow up learning heel flips this way, and I would advise not to do it this way either, because I think it will get conflicting between your kick flips and heel flips later on in your skateboarding years. Okay, so now we're gonna go over how to actually do the heel flip. Simply, of course, you do the ollie as usual, and as you're doing it, you're gonna slide your front foot up towards the nose. But as you're sliding your front foot forward, you're gonna be rolling your ankle. Well, not completely rolling it until you break it, but you're gonna roll it off to the concave like this. You're gonna slide off like this, and when you reach the peak of the concave, you're gonna kick out. So you're gonna pop it, slide your front foot up as you're rolling your ankle. You know, you slide it and you roll at the same time, and then kick out. And you need to do this in a fast motion as you're flicking. So when you're like trying to practice this trick, like practice this rolling motion, rolling and kicking, roll and kick out. And make sure that you retract your front leg back to the bar as you're doing this, because I see a lot of skaters like they do it and flick it, but they just have their front leg just hanging out way in front of them after they do it. So roll it, kick out, and then retract back. Roll it, kick it out, and then retract it back. So practice that motion a lot, it will definitely help. After you do the popping and sliding, kicking out motion, the board is gonna start flipping, and I advise you a lot to jump as high as you can in the air. This trick tends to flip a lot slower than the kick flip. So I advise you to jump as high as you can so that your feet are out of the way, and make sure the board is doing the full complete flipping rotation, because like I said, this trick tends to flip a lot slower. And if you don't let your feet, and if you don't let the board have plenty of room to flip and your feet are in the way, then you'll end up landing it upside down, which is okay, you know, if you're starting to learn now. But if you're trying to perfect at it, then I would highly suggest just flipping it more, because I tend to do that sometimes. Even though I've been doing this trick for a long time, I still get into this situation sometimes. But hey, it's all a part of skateboarding. Keep in mind just to keep your feet out of the way and to flick faster when you're doing it. So when you put all the motions together for the heel flip, this is what it's gonna look like. So that's basically how the heel flip should look when you're doing it. I promise you, you know, I've done heel flips way better than that. Now that you know how to do it, let's watch some examples. So the common mistakes that you'll have when learning the heel flip is obviously the board just flipping halfway down. And all you really got to do is just to compensate by flicking just a little bit faster, because like I said before, the board tends to flip slower when you're doing the heel flip. And don't try to compensate for flicking it too much, otherwise the board will kind of overflip and then you'll land into a primo, which is not fun. Another common mistake is that people tend to lean, you know, more forward into the heel flip. And what I suggest is that you try to keep your weight centered over the board, so that way you won't lean too far back into it or lean too far forward into it. Now, one thing I forgot to mention when placing your feet for the heel flip is that when you place your feet like this, it evens out the weight of the board when you're doing the heel flip, because if you were to do like a heel flip more like this, more of your weight is going to be more forward into it, and that's going to cause you to lean more forward, and the board's just going to flip behind you, which is what you don't want. So just keep in mind to keep that foot placement in that area, because it's going to even out that weight, and in general, just keep your body weight centered, you know, over the board as well. If you just keep those two things in mind, then you shouldn't have a problem just getting the board to flip completely under you when you're trying heel flips. And another common mistake with the heel flip is just getting your feet out of the way when the board is flipping. So just make sure you jump high enough so that the board has enough room to flip, because again, this board flips really slow. I honestly can't say that enough, because obviously I experience this common problem a lot when I'm doing heel flips most of the time. Jump as high as you can, but not too high that you'll lose the trick, but just enough so that your board will have enough room to do the full flipping rotation and that your feet won't get in the way, because if they do, then it's not going to be pretty. You'll land primo and everything. That concludes the heel flip tutorial. And once you get really good at the heel flip, you can start doing these variations. And if you really want to step up your heel flip game, try doubling it. And with that being said, guys, that concludes this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel, subscribe if you're new, and like and comment on this video. And if you have any tips that can help you or others learning this trick, or anything that I missed, put it down in the comments below. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later.
I worked in the bar scene. Yeah, I'm not. I drink a lot. It's like I'm living.